Always happens. Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. My computer's always a little bit slow, waiting on that live button to go on. We're all laughing.
You're a little slow, Mr.
No, I'm a lot slow. I blame this shitty El Paso internet. How's everybody doing this week? Welcome to the Purple People Podcast. I'm Kyle Smith. I'm joined by these other three musketeers. Kyle West.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man? Dorian Foley, what's up, dude?
What it is what it is. Minnesota Vikings football, baby. Yeah.
He's like, God, Saturday Night Live, I think on Leon Phelps. The Minnesota Vikings.
Well, you talking to the ladies, man? You want a fish sandwich?
Yeah, that's it. We're Leon Phelps. Last but not least, Adam Carlson. What's up, man?
I got a tip for you. If you use habaneros in your food, go ahead and add hot sauce anyway. At that point, it don't matter.
Oh, you are insane, Carlson.
Living on the edge, Adam Carlson.
Hey, if you ain't doing what you're doing hard enough where you ain't sweating, then it ain't worth it. That's what I'm saying.
Where did this show go in a matter of 60 Well, you guys are in for a friggin' treat today, let me tell you.
Oh, shoot. I got to get some water.
Dorian's going to be back. I'm going to tell you about this episode number and title. If you can believe it, we've been doing this 319 times. This is the Bailey Show because we've got a new kicker in town, allegedly. It's not official yet, I don't believe.
Pending a physical, but that's a quick hit in a little bit. But I do have to ask you guys, who was your favorite host of the Daily Show?
I have to go with Jon Stewart. He's the only one that I knew consistently.
Yeah,
that was
Jon
the only
Stewart.
time I ever watched the show. Was Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
Never Trevor Noah.
Not a fan.
Haven't watched it.
No, I'll give it to you this. It was cool because I'm a big supporter of any African American guys getting a shot to have a show and stuff like that. I'm very much on the left for that side. There's just too much humor in there that I thought was like, okay, man, you're digging pretty deep. That's why I go with Jon Stewart.
The sports side of me really liked when Craig Kilborn was doing it.
Oh, God, I forgot about him.
That's a throwback right there. Most people even forget that he did that show. But
you said that. Thank you.
To see a sports anchor, rise up and go into news and find a little bit of a success and build that franchise. Because, like you guys, I'm not a huge Trevor Noah fan. I don't find his political brand of humor to match me. But also, it's just that the show is built into such an empire. People haven't let go. And thank you, sports, for helping to make Craig Kilborn entertaining again for a while. I don't know what he's doing now, but maybe
he's probably got a podcast
somewhere. Oh, probably.
Yeah.
We'll look that up later. That'll be a little stat we can bring up.
We got Quinn Hoffman in the chat, along with Brett Foster, Sean Reynolds. People are filing in and getting ready to talk some football, which is good because we have a lot to talk about, both good and bad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When you said Brett Favre, I said my heart stopped. I was like, Brett Favre's in the chat? What? It's fake news. Brett Foster, you're a fraud. What's up, everybody? Glad you could join us in the chat. We really appreciate it. Thank you for starting off in this crazy, weird, stupid thing we've started already this week. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're off to a hot start here. I'm glad everybody tuned in to catch this mess.
We started something last week. Give all the credit to Kyle West. He started this. A new subscriber shout out at John the Red 79 on Twitter. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon. And then you'll get a notification when we go live. Of course, my internet's like 10 seconds slow, but it did the same thing as soon as it finally went through. So you'll get an email and you'll get a little notification if you're on your desktop. It's pretty cool. It's our thing to get you guys more involved. And sure, it's going to get us some numbers, but we'll shout you out like we did John the Red 79, and we'll interact with you during the show. It's usually Kyle West and Adam Carlson chatting with you guys during the YouTube chat. So pretty cool way for you guys to interact with us if you want to actually put in some comments too.
Absolutely. Ask us questions. Correct us if we're wrong on something. Comment on what we're talking about. Heck, let us know what you had for breakfast. Just communicate. It's fun. Say hi.
Absolutely. We pull a lot of stuff from that for the show. If you guys are fairly new to the show, we'll talk about some topics that jump out to us on there as well. So you give us more content for the show. This is the cool one. Adam Carlson, our own for this show, he's going to give us a Survival League update. If you're not aware, the Purple People Podcast does a Survival League every football season. I believe he said last week, if you haven't entered, it's too late to enter now. But the cool incentive, if you keep listening to the show and you do next year, you'll get free stuff. So Adam's going to give the update on that.
This week so far, we only have, 5 strikes handed out. We got Home Sweet Mahomes, who picked the Washington Redskins. Darren's Dazzling Pick Set, who picked the New York Jets, which I had as my pick for a while before changing it back to where I picked the Rams.
Smart move.
Roads closed due to Wayne's picked the Carolina Panthers. And for the first time, we had 2 people that failed to make picks.
Uh-oh.
This places 3 teams. 3 teams are already in danger of one more strike being eliminated. Darren's Dazzling Pick Set, my Champion Set, and Roads Closed are both 1 pick away from being gone. So it's important to make those picks and make them smart because you guys are going to want these prizes. Of course, Purple Nurple is getting his first strike for not making a pick, but we've also got Spanky's Sensational Pick Set, who picked the Chicago Bears tonight. So too early to decide what's going to happen there.
Be fun to see how that plays out.
I'll keep you updated for as long as the show runs. I'm actually watching it right now, and Seattle has received the ball first, so they're on offense, and the first quarter starting. I'm going to go for the Bears in this one. So big update on the team. If you guys didn't watch the game yesterday, it was one for the ages, and we're going to break down that game a little bit later. But because of the result of that game, the Vikings have waived kicker Daniel Carlson. Spoiler alert, he missed all three of his field goal attempts yesterday. Pretty much cost us the game. There was a couple other points we'll talk about later, but very, very short stint in Minnesota, highest rounded draft kicker drafted in team history, and he's gone after 2 games. This team's not playing around. They want to win a championship right now, and he's gone. So today they brought in former Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey. Pending a physical, he will sign with the team. So those are the reports.
I'm one of those people that always wants to give someone a second chance, and I think that Daniel Carlson already got his second chance after he struggled real bad in the preseason. So for him to come out and strangely connect on all his extra points and then miss all the field goals, I just don't really understand how that affects anything, especially when you got 2 chances to win the game.
It was crazy. Like I said, we'll break down the game in its entirety a little bit later, but it seemed to be a mental struggle yesterday after missing 1 and then 2. He fully admitted in the post-game presser yesterday on the 3rd one he was, pretty sure it was just his nerves and not being confident to make it.
But you guys heard what I said, right?
Yep.
That holder, he was not straight on any of those. You can see that his body was kind of like tilted a little bit to the left, which means the kick would go to the right.
Now, when you talked about this in our chat, I was looking at the position of the ball, and I, for myself, thought the ball was a little crooked myself. But I don't want to point the finger of the blame to be like, oh, it's the punter's fault. Like, it's definitely
it's the entire special teams unit. That's what it is. I mean, if the snap's high, the kick's going to be in trouble. If the holder struggles to get it in position right, the kick's going to be in trouble. But it's always going to be on the kicker.
Right.
And I know that the Vikings already have this new punter holder, and they haven't had him for long. So maybe they just needed more time to develop some chemistry and figure things out. But that's not going to happen because the Vikings are definitely going forward with someone else. Right now, there is no kicker on the Vikings roster, though.
Right. Like we said, pending a physical, Dan Bailey, I think he's one of the most accurate kickers ever. Best one in Cowboy history. The reason the Cowboys let him go, because I had to look it up, was because of some physical stuff. I guess that's why. It's kind of a shocker to the Cowboy fans that I know, but I mean, at this point, anything's an upgrade, and I hate to say that. We wish Daniel Carlson the best. I'm not going to trash him. He's had enough hate online. People were ruthless to him yesterday.
They were. And his Twitter account just got flooded with some of the rudest stuff that you can imagine.
Yeah, you hate it. I mean, we've had this situation a couple years ago, Blair Walsh, and everybody was awful to him too, but it's just like, you got to do your job, but at the same time, you got to be decent to people. It's something I'll always preach. So good luck to him. Maybe you'll get another chance somewhere else, and good luck going forward.
Joseph Robinson in the chat says the punter can kick. Yeah, but can he hold too? That's a challenge.
Like I said in the Discord chat the other day, I was like, just have Stephon Diggs go out there and kick. Like, he probably could have made that game-winning field goal for us.
Yeah.
Purple and Gold in the chat says, anyone hear anything about Rashad Hill's status yet? Yes, from what I understand, it's just an ankle tweak. It's not anything really too serious. If the Vikings do have to move forward with Brian O'Neill at right tackle again, I am cool with that because I thought he did really well in pass protection, even though he struggled in run blocking like we knew he would, because the Vikings, like I said, wanted to take time, have him bulk up so he could be a more effective right tackle in the run game. But right now, the passing game is where so much needs to improve, and Brian O'Neill holding down that right tackle, I'm cool with that.
Sean Hill's status is retired, in case that is what you were asking.
Damn it. Quarterback savior. If Fitzmagic can do it, Sean Hill can come in and get us to the playoffs, right? I'm just kidding.
No.
Any update on Dalvin Cook? We got a couple people asking about him as well. I haven't heard anything.
I have heard nothing.
Haven't heard anything either.
So I'm assuming he must be fine? Question mark?
I don't know. I have no idea. It didn't look like anything serious yesterday, but maybe a tweak. But God, I would be so pissed if that happened 2 years in a row.
Yeah, apparently he tweaked his hamstring, but I don't think it's anything big.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a knee. I didn't even know what happened.
That was his hammy.
Okay.
Let's see. Tom Pelissero said it was just a cramp.
Yeah, it was pretty hot yesterday all around. Still in the summer.
I know after the game, Dalvin Cook was talking about the heat on the field and how uncomfortable he was getting. And that's a weird thing to hear in Green Bay.
Yeah, he cramps in Wisconsin. I hear about that one all the time. We'll keep you updated. The good news is this week coming up, we play the Bills. So hopefully, if we had to sit out a game, this would be one I'm kind of confident in. You don't want to sleep on anybody.
I got full confidence in Latavius Murray if he's got to step in. Mm-hmm. He's proven to be a very, very, very effective runner, especially if you just need to pick up 3 or 4. So I'm all in on that. And plus, to be honest, selfishly, I kind of want to see some of these, the 2 running backs. I want to see them in action a little bit. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be pretty cool. Like I said, if you guys haven't been watching football, I should give you an update. The Bills are the Browns now. They are the worst team in football, and it's not even close. So that's cool, and it'll be a home game.
The Bills are an absolute dumpster fire. Fucking the player retired at halftime.
Yeah. If you guys didn't hear that either, Vontae Davis packed all his shit up in the middle of the half and just left.
Didn't say shit. Just got up and just snuck out.
Just left.
And then posted it. On his Instagram. Like, that's crazy.
I thought the Steelers were in trouble because everybody's going to – Antonio Brown made a comment on Twitter last night. Somebody said, if you didn't have Big Ben, you wouldn't be the receiver you were. And he's like, trade me. I'll show you. Like, Le'Veon Bell's not there. The offensive line's talking. It's the Steelers are a fucking mess right now. But the Bills, they have taken the cake, and they are running at Usain Bolt speed away from everybody else for how bad they are. So we'll keep you up to date on that game coming up. But let's talk about some more acquisitions. Like we said, Daniel Carlson's been waived. We'll give you an update on our Facebook page and Instagram and hopefully Twitter too, if we remember to do that. If we sign Dan Bailey tomorrow.
Vikings are expected to if that physical comes back good.
Mm-hmm.
Looks pretty good for us in the running for Dan Bailey. They have signed wide receiver Aldrick Robinson. He spent 7 seasons in the NFL. He was originally a 6th-round pick for the Redskins. He was there with the Ravens, the Falcons, and the 49ers. And he previously worked with Kirk Cousins in 2012 and 13, so he has familiarity there. It's been a little bit. I don't really know why they signed this guy.
Because Laquon Treadwell.
You know why?
Thank you, Dorian.
No.
You know exactly why.
No, I don't, because I don't, because here it is. You cut Daniel Carlson, right? You waive him, and you sign Dan Bailey. Have we cut Laquon Treadwell yet? So why did we sign another wide receiver?
He can sit his ass on the bench.
Because someone else is getting cut when Dan Bailey gets signed.
We need to have Chad Beebe or one of the practice squad guys step up. I don't know who the hell this guy is. He played in the league for 7 years, and I never heard his name till today.
Lord Aldrich? Come on.
Come on.
Lord Aldrich.
That's his nickname, man.
Before,
really? I don't know anything about him, so I thought you were making a wrestling joke, to Lord Alfred Hayes. I thought
No.
Oh, okay.
That's his actual NFL nickname.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him. But
he's got 9 touchdowns. That's what I read today earlier. 9 receiving touchdowns.
His career, he averages 15 yards per catch. Think of him as a little bit more sure-handed Ted Ginn.
I know what they said.
Because he has a long history of track and field, and he is fast. If you want a wide receiver who can get separation on a deep route and open up the field a little bit, this is your man, especially when you've got Adam Thielen, who had one heck of a game when he had 13 passes thrown his way and hauled in 12 of them. and you got those surefire receivers that can just haul in those passes anywhere, you're going to separate that defense so much that stretching the field is going to be a breeze. And if you got a guy that can run past everybody, that's just amazing.
Very true, but remember the name Troy Williamson? He had that speed too. Didn't have
Troy couldn't catch though.
Yeah,
damn it, Dorian.
I hope that Aldridge doesn't have that same problem. Like, he can separate, but if he can't catch, or if it's pressure,
well, it don't matter.
Are you doubting the Lord?
I know what Kyle's gonna say.
It don't matter. Laquon doesn't have the speed, and Laquon can't catch. So what the fuck's he doing on the field?
I can't, man. It's weird how this game shifted so hard because we're down. Laquon gets a touchdown. We're like, oh crap, here it is. It's happening. Oh god, it's happening. And then it didn't happen. It actually went backwards. I was like, how? And then we kept throwing the ball. What are you doing?
The wheels fell off the wagon. The wheels fell off the wagon, and the wagon started on fire. Like, that's how bad it got for Laquon Treadwell.
Right.
I can't, man.
Robinson.
It was like teaching your child how to ride a bike, and you take the training wheels off. It's like, you're doing it. Oh my god, you're doing it. And then like 5 minutes later, oh my god, you just hit the trash can. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. And there's blood everywhere now because of the damage. It's ridiculous.
Here's some speculation we usually do before the season, but there is also speculation since Aldrich is a special teamer who returns punts that maybe
no, don't say it. Don't say it. It's not gonna happen.
It's possible.
No way.
Marcus Sherrills is going to retire Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, not only Dorian, is he going to retire.
He's going to be 42 and retired.
Retire in 2025 because he somehow keeps making the fucking team. I don't get it. Good for you, Marcus Sherrills. Make that money and keep finding a spot, man.
Right.
All right.
There's always going to be rumblings whenever anyone's getting cut. Maybe it's Marcus Sherrills. I don't know.
Maybe. Always maybe Marcus Sherrills.
Marcus Sherrills is going to be like punt returner / helmet shine guy / towel boy. Like, he's gonna find a spot on this damn team somehow, some way. And then Zim's gonna be asked questions and stuff. Well, Marcus is a hell of a guy, hell of a talent. Oh, see, my coffee was spot on. You see, yeah. Good job, Marcus.
Moving on, if we didn't get to name it last week, I think we'd already recorded the show. Harrison Smith named Defensive Player of the Week for Week 1 against the 49ers. Which I'm not sure. I thought we mentioned this last week, maybe not, but it was funny because Pro Football Focus said he didn't have that good of a game. And he gets an award for how awesome he was during the game. So suck it, Pro Football Focus. I usually love those guys, but they're kind of down on him because they kind of dig deep as far as statistics and overall grading. But whatever, man. That's another one for the shelf for Harry the Hitman.
Indeed.
Oh, man.
Harrison Smith's good.
This is crazy. This is the coolest bullet. I didn't even read this before the show. Adam Thielen has passed Jim Kleinsasser on the Vikings all-time reception list. Needs one reception this Sunday at the Bills for career catch number 200. Wow. Already?
Wow.
Already, dude.
Well, I mean, it helps when you catch a shit ton of passes and you catch 12 or 13.
Didn't he have 80 or so last year?
Adam
was like 90 or 91, something like that.
He had 12 in this game week 2, so...
Guys, Adam Thielen is Chris Carter. He is a phenomenal route runner, and he can catch everything thrown his way.
I'll take that. I think that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Go ahead, White Chris. All right.
White Chris.
White Chris Carter.
Mitchell Trubisky just did his best Adrian Peterson impression there, just weaving through everybody. Who knew he had wheels?
Really? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's still 0-0 with 7:24 to go, in case you guys were wondering. It's exciting game.
Mitchell.
I'm not ever going to not call him Mitch. I hate that. Like, halfway, like, Tyrod Taylor's been playing in the league how long? He's like, oh, my name's Tyrod. Bitch, you've been in the league for 5 years. You could have told somebody.
Right. So,
no, it's just Tyrod.
Just for that, I'm calling you Tyrod. Like, yeah.
I'm super
my name's
anyways. I got
Asil Terry.
Terry.
Get out there, ACL Terry. If you guys have never seen The Comebacks, I laughed so hard at that movie.
What movie is this?
The Comebacks.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it's one of those stupid
Oh, it's
Yes,
stupid.
movies.
So stupid.
All right,
Yeah,
is it dude? Where's my car? Stupid.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. It's
All right, just now that I know what I'm in for. All right.
Pootie Tang, stupid.
God, there's the reference.
There's the fucking reference today. Sorry, guys. Sorry for all the swearing. I'm just so excited to talk about today.
No one under the age of 30 knows what the hell Pootie Tang is.
At least it wasn't Soul Plane though. That's what I'm happy about.
Oh my god,
movie.
man.
You know, all right, side note, we're going to talk about this later on, but you know the quote was good today about the kicker when your
I've got that down below. That's my Mike Zimmer quote of the week.
Go ahead.
My Packer friend texted me, shout out to Devin, what's up, dude, enjoying his last couple months in the Air Force. He said, did you see what your coach said about your kicker? And it's like, oh, yeah, I did.
I originally had another one in there from earlier in the week, but I could not pass this up. This is today's press. Well, here, I got it here for you. There was a reporter. The reporter asked him what went into the decision today on letting Daniel Carlson go. Mike Zimmer responds, "Did you see the game?" And then the reporter, was it a difficult decision? And Mike Zimmer, without missing a beat, goes, "Yeah, it was pretty easy." That was it. That was it.
I think it was Chris. Was it Chris Thomason asking those questions too?
Oh my god!
I'm not sure.
Right off the bat,
that press conference was so quiet. I had to go find headphones and plug them in and turn the volume all the way up. It's like they were whispering, man.
Also, and this is coming from a Green Bay fan. He said, did you hear about the reports on the rules? He said that both penalties were correct. They are both going to be used at training tapes for teams to learn what not to do. The reason is the scooping of the quarterbacks. That's what both got them fined. Stated that this is not a new rule. It's been a part of the rules for a few years now, but they have a huge emphasis being pushed down from the top to get these calls called correctly. So
yeah, they don't want you to drag him down like that. They want you to pull him down.
Oh, okay, can I just raise my hand real quick? Can we just all agree that the NFL needs to just, just take away this Aaron Rodgers rule, just completely, just kind of admit, hey, I think we messed up.
All right, can I rebut this? And I'll say why. I look at what you're saying, and I like it. But think about this. If it's Deshaun Kaiser and it's Trevor Siemian and it's whoever the hell's backing up Mitch Trubisky and it's whoever's backing up Matt Stafford and all these quarterbacks get hurt, do you really want to watch that? Because I sure as hell don't.
I don't, but I'm just saying, dude, they're getting penalized now. Clay Matthews and Eric Kendricks got penalized for making a tackle. You know
You're
what
right.
I'm saying?
And I don't
so
disagree
that's all I'm saying.
Rule, but I do understand why, because they want to keep the quarterbacks upright and in the game for as long as they can, which is unfair. But
the quarterbacks are their moneymakers.
I'd rather watch Aaron Rodgers play than I would Deshaun Kaiser any day of the week because he's awful.
I don't know. I would kind of want to see more Nathan Peterman just to see how many interceptions he can throw per game. There's got to. What's the NFL record for most interceptions in a game? Nathan Peterman can hit it.
I know, 8, isn't it?
Is it? He can get 9. He can get 10.
I put the over on 10. No, Dorian, I totally get it, man. I'm not doing it just to argue with you on here. It's just, I would rather see it's one of those things where I don't like it, but I understand why. But this is going to – Mike Zimmer nailed it on the head. We said it. This will be the third show, I think, in a row, or third out of 4 shows recently where this is going to cost people some jobs because that came at a crucial moment yesterday, and it was a national talking point.
At least it was called evenly. You can not like it, but I mean, it was called on both Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, and both teams benefited from getting it called. So it's not like they played favoritism towards one quarterback or another. I still don't like the rule, but
And I was right. It was 8, and it was Jim Hardy of the Chicago Cardinals in 1950.
Dear God,
that's amazing.
Well, speaking of Chicago,
oh God,
how do you not get benched by 4? But that's weird. But the Bears are
what year was it?
1950.
1950. That probably wasn't a backup quarterback.
There probably wasn't.
The Bears are up 7-0. Just an update on that game. Speaking of moving on up the list, Stephon Diggs is tied with Sidney Rice on the leagues of all-time receiving touchdowns at number 14 with 18 total touchdowns. This is crazy.
Damn.
This is crazy because I said this to one of my friends yesterday. They're like, hey, you know, who do you like better, Diggs or Thielen? And I said, I can't pick one. This whole, why not? Do you just like them that much, both that much equally? I said, Thielen's going to get the yards, and he's going to get your thirds and your first downs. Diggs is going to get all the touchdowns. And
It's true.
It's been true the last 2 years that it's showing now. I think Diggs had 2 yesterday, 1 last week. Thank God Adam Thielen got the catch of the year so far. I know we're only 2 weeks in, but good God, what a throw for a catch.
Oh, my God.
Not only that,
2 touchdowns and that 2-point conversion.
Oh, yeah, that was nasty.
yeah, and the first player in the history of the NFL to successfully get a fucking goal line fade in the back of the end zone and actually come down in bounds and catch it. Grief.
That was good.
That play never works, and he did it.
Yeah, that never works. You're right. That's pretty cool, though. Like, that's a cool little stat. Whoever threw that in the notes, that's really awesome because I like to see both of our guys. And it's the same thing, too. Here he is dealing with the receptions, Diggs with the touchdowns. It's going to keep happening. And these guys are fairly young, so it's not going to stop anytime soon. So it's pretty awesome. Oh, this is a Kyle West stat right here. This is
I love this one. This is one of my favorite quick hits we've done.
After 2 games, only 2 games in Minnesota, Sheldon Richardson needs 1 more sack and 3 more quarterback hits to get his season totals from last year in Seattle.
This is what happens when you take a player that is a great player and you put him next to players who don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
When you got Sheldon Richardson out there and you got Linval Joseph on one side and Everson Griffin on the other, Sheldon Richardson, he don't need to cover for anybody. He can do his own thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They were making a joke about it today. I don't know if you guys watched his particular presser, but they asked him, hey, what do you think about the Clay Matthews thing? And he had a great answer. He's like, hey, man, just push through it and just play. We had to deal with it. I had to deal with it last week. He told Kendricks, he's like, just wait till Thursday when they dock your check for that fine coming out, which is, you know, funny in a way. But it was like, did it hurt you to write that check? He's like, I don't see it. It's taken out of my paycheck. So it's like, I don't have to write a check.
That's a perfect answer, though.
Yeah. The perfect answer for all that, but he's saying, you know, what's the deal with you and Everson splitting sacks? He's like, I hate it. And everybody laughed. He's like, I'm just kidding, guys. That's a joke. He's like, you know, he loves the fact that's all the stuff you guys mentioned. He's like playing with good people. He's like, now he can really shine and do what he needs. Because I'm sure what happened in Seattle was him having to get to either cover a double team or having to pick up the slack that somebody else is just not doing their job on. And he doesn't have to do that here. And he's a monster out there.
Now, Sheldon Richardson turned down other football teams to come to Minnesota because he liked the fit here. And we're seeing the same thing now with Dan Bailey turned down reportedly 4 other teams before he's expected to sign with Minnesota. Minnesota is becoming this hotbed for free agents. They're going to be able to get players cheaper because they think a Super Bowl ring might be an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
People still want to talk shit about Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman. Yet here we are, just signing free agents left and right.
Yeah.
The players believe they really do.
I just want to add just real quick to Sheldon Richardson. I know we talked about this, I think, last week about him possibly just being a one and done and we're just renting him for the season. I really hope that that's not the case. I really hope that we can somehow, you know, get him to stay, you know, for an extended period of time.
I would not be surprised if he's able to flip his 1 year in Minnesota into a big contract with some other team if he continues to perform the way he does. And I wouldn't be mad at him if he does that. Like, it's all about you play for a short time in the NFL and you want to get as much money as you can. But it would be really cool if there was some way that they could work salary cap magic to keep him around for another couple years in Minnesota.
Barr, Richardson, Waynes, they got people they got to throw money at, and that salary cap increase just ain't going to be enough. I'm interested to see how they're able to keep as many players as they can, but it's getting to the point where some will have to walk, and it's going to hurt.
I'm looking at it now. Sheldon Richardson turns 28 on November 29th. This is only his 5th year in the league, so he's right at his prime. And fun fact about him, if you didn't know, I don't think he went to college, guys. It says high school/college, Gateway High School. Holy crap.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm looking at it now for Wikipedia, so that's cool. And he's a first-round pick, 13th overall.
Wikipedia is always correct.
Always, every time. There's never a discrepancy there. Awesome. Well,
Sheldon Richardson went to Missouri, didn't he?
He's from there, I believe. College, Missouri. He went to the College of Sequoias in Visalia, California for 2 years and transferred to the University of Missouri, so Mizzou. Gary Pinkel, what a name. in 2011, and then he entered the draft at 1 year, so that's why. I don't know why they wouldn't put both of those in there. Thanks for making me look like an asshole, Wikipedia. No,
Yeah, Wikipedia.
It's all Wikipedia's fault for me not reading.
But I was excited. I found a $20 signed Sheldon Richardson jersey on eBay, and puppy came in the mail, and I'm happy to have it. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I paid more for that John Randall jersey that's coming. It's kind of throwback. I'll be wearing that on the show from now on, just so you guys know. It's shipping tomorrow, so I'm really pumped about that.
There you go.
Nice.
Etsy is the place to get vintage and, off-the-wall stuff, so go there and check it out. This past game, Harrison Smith had his 500th career tackle. Holy crap. Can't believe he's been around that long. It doesn't seem like he's been playing for us that long, but he has. How old is Harrison Smith going to be? So his birthday's February 2nd, so he's 29, so he'll turn 30 after the season. All right, not bad.
Yeah, he's not an old man yet, but he's definitely got that experience under his belt, and with those years came wisdom, and he definitely showcases that wisdom on the field.
Yeah, I think 500 career tackles for a safety is really pretty big achievement for him, too.
Joseph Robinson in the chat wants you to paint your face when you wear that John Randall jersey.
You got it. I'll do it for the show.
There we go.
Former Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Michael Floyd is signing with the Redskins. It says, I will drink a kombucha tea to that. All right. Fair enough.
I've never had that stuff. I've seen it on some shelves, but maybe one day.
It's actually not too bad, Adam.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Best of luck to Michael Floyd. I'm glad to see him still continue his career. It didn't really work out here in Minnesota, but you never know.
Yeah.
That's all right. He'll get another shot. I don't know how it's going to work over in Washington, but 2 Minnesota Vikings that are Redskins now, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until Kirk Cousins wears that post-game press conference clothes like Ryan Fitzpatrick, nothing matters.
Best thing of the football weekend is Fitzmagic coming out there, showing his chest hair, wearing Deshaun Jackson's jewelry, and just completely owning everything. He broke down at the end because he couldn't not laugh, but good God, that was the best thing I've ever seen.
Hey, man, you only get one life. Have fun. Have fun with it.
I dig it. Let's talk about this football game. We tied yesterday, and it pissed everyone off.
Honestly, I'm a little more okay with it now that we fired the kicker. I really am.
You're a dick.
There's some accountability to it, at least, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll give away our game balls, monkeys, and we'll talk about the play of the game. But just so you guys know, we tied in overtime, 29-29. Minnesota had 22 points in the fourth quarter. Kirk Cousins played the game of his life and career. Outplayed Aaron Rodgers, flat out right. And that's not fair to say because he was not practicing all week, and I'm sure he wasn't fully healthy. But either way, but let's talk about game balls. Let's go.
All right, I'll kick things off here. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs.
Very nice.
When you got a player who 14 points came through his hands, it's amazing to think that he's responsible for so much offensive output and how much he's trusted in the end zone. He just makes plays there, and his solid route running just opens him up for everything. I don't see how really Stephon Diggs can't be a part of this offense any more than he already is because he's the first read all the time.
And shout out to Stephon Diggs for 35.9 fantasy football points. Thank you.
And he's also got that wicked Geico ad. It's fun.
I love it, and everybody.
I saw it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Just type in Stephon Diggs and Geico if you guys haven't seen it, man. It's really good.
But yeah, he was targeted 13 times during the game. He didn't haul in as many as Adam Thielen did, but he still ended up catching 9 passes for 128 yards, averaging 14.2 yards per catch, which proves just how much of a downfield threat he can be as well. He turned on the boosters when he turned around and saw that Cousins threw him the ball on that deep route. And the speed that he showcased there, that acceleration, that's nice.
That was a fantastic play, but I'm more impressed too. Like you just said with the one touchdown, they said it was a shoelace catch. It was good on him for holding on to it. But I was really impressed with the 2-point conversion, as we talked about before.
That backyard pitch and catch was awesome.
Good
just
God.
running. It looked like it hit the ground. Nope.
Leave people on skates. It's like just skating by him, and then he just jukes people, and it was good, man. If you guys didn't see it, check it out. Good choice, Dorian. Who's your game ball going to?
I'm going with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had a hell of a game, man. 4 touchdowns?
Correct.
Had an interception, but that honestly wasn't his fault. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to that later. But overall, just how we thread the needle and, mentioning about those 2 touchdown passes to Stephon Diggs. I mean, Kirk Cousins played a hell of a game.
The only real miscue he made was that pass that he tried deep to Stacey Coley.
Yep.
And that was the only real mistake that I thought he made that game. Otherwise, it was exactly what you wanted to see from Kirk Cousins on a football field for the Minnesota Vikings. Just
exactly
the deep ball throws, the accuracy. I don't know. I just still am a little bit in disbelief that he threw for 425 yards in that game.
I'll give you a spoiler. He was my game ball too. I just like it because on paper he outperformed Aaron Rodgers. And it was handily, too. QBR of 85.6, Aaron Rodgers 53.3. Rating overall 118.8, Aaron Rodgers 97.4. This guy was phenomenal yesterday. And I love the fourth quarter drive with all the pressure in the world. And people are going to say, oh, here comes Kirk Cousins. He's going to throw a pick and ruin the game. No, he kept us in the game. And he proved a bunch of doubters wrong. And today, all over the national media, people are like, well, I guess Kirk Cousins was the right move. He's better than Case Keenum. And I'm like, well, no shit, guys. We kind of figured that earlier in March. We kind of figured that out.
Exactly.
But it was good to see him play under pressure, so he gets my game ball as well. And Kyle West, I think you're the last one for the game ball.
Hey, sorry, I had to walk away for a minute there. I'm going to give my game ball to Adam Thielen. I don't know if any of you guys did or not.
Nope.
But I thought that Adam Thielen had a hell of a day. Like you said, 12 receptions on, 13 targets, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. He had the absolutely clutch catch. It's just what he continues to do is so impressive for this team. You can fit the ball to him when he's in double coverage, and he's going to come down and he's going to make a play on the ball. Him and Stephon Diggs, I mean, it's a toss-up any week on which one of them you can give a game ball to almost every week.
The confidence that Kirk Cousins had to throw that football in that tiny gap.
Oh, my God.
Ooh,
I lost my shit at work. Like, people were looking at me like, yeah, I lost everything, dude. I swear.
That was a dangerous pass, but when you trust your receiver that much and the concentration that Thielen had to haul that in,
they said it went down the chimney.
Man.
I love that analogy. Went down the chimney, and that was spot on. I couldn't believe it. I'm just like Dorian. I lost it when that happened, and I couldn't believe it. But it was a hell of a day.
Yeah.
Well, now we get to flip the side. We get to talk about our donkeys and who we thought played awful in that game. And I'm going to go ahead and give it to surprise, Daniel Carlson, who is not on the team.
Is anybody not picking Daniel Carlson here? All right, so it's unanimous.
I think this is the first time we've given a game ball to someone who got cut.
Not a game ball, a donkey.
Or, I mean, excuse me, a donkey. I don't think we've ever given a donkey to someone who got cut before we were able to record the next podcast.
I hope that we never end up talking about someone who got cut that got a game ball. I hope that's never the case.
Adam Thielen gets my game ball. I can't believe the Vikings cut him.
Wouldn't that be something?
But
yeah, I mean, there were only really 2 options here. You could probably go Daniel Carlson. The only other one that you could really realistically make a really great argument for would be Laquon Treadwell. But it's hard because he caught his first NFL touchdown pass, and you want to feel good for the guy because of that.
There was a brief moment in the Discord chat where everyone was like, we're giving a game ball to Laquon Treadwell.
And he was like, hold my beer. I'm going to go ahead and drop passes and cause interceptions.
And Treadwell did some good blocking, some next-level blocking, but man, that pass that he tipped up that got intercepted, and then there were 2 opportunities he had for first downs that just kind of bumped off his hands. That it just did not work out well in his favor.
I don't care.
I miss
I don't want Laquon Treadwell on the team anymore. I said it yesterday. Go after Josh Gordon. The Patriots did. Des Bryant's crazy Twitter loving ass is still out there too. I'd rather have Des Bryant on the team. I'm sick of not catching the ball. That's your only job as a receiver, your main job. Like Adam said, there are people that will defend him. Well, he's a great blocker. Cool, man. Go be an offensive lineman then.
Exactly.
You're a wide receiver. Catch the damn football, and he sucks at it. So I'm done with Laquon Treadwell. I'm sorry because he had a good moment. He caught the ball. I can't believe they were still trying to freaking give him the ball after that too.
Well, they tried Stacey Coley in there. That didn't work too great either.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're very right.
I don't think anyone else was active, were they?
I'm not sure.
No, Chad Beebe wasn't activated for that game.
I don't think so.
Okay, well. But yeah, I'm done with the Laquon Treadwell experience. Like, I don't want to talk about him anymore. Like, you're done. Get the fuck off my team.
I have to laugh because in Oakdale here where I live, there's the buy-sell, pages, and someone's been trying to sell an autographed Laquon Treadwell jersey for $35 for like the past 4 or 5 months.
I'll take it. I'll take that jersey to whoever that is if you pay for shipping and send it to my house. I'm not paying you anything for it, though. You have to pay for shipping.
And I was laughing so hard because I'm like, that person is going to keep trying to sell that thing, and it just ain't going to move.
It's not going to happen. I also tried to introduce this last week, so we'll see if anybody else disagrees. The play of the game, it's either the Adam Thielen catch or the missed field goal in overtime. I picked the missed field goal in overtime because what the hell, man? I think Daniel, and this is a hot question to ask. If Daniel Carlson misses the first two and makes the field goal in overtime to win the game, is he still on the team today? I think he would be.
Yeah,
I think he would be too.
Yeah.
Yep. My play of the game, I think it was that long catch that Stephon Diggs had. I think that the Vikings were kind of like losing momentum until Diggs made that long connection down the field, and that really got the offense clicking from that point on.
Since it doesn't have to be a positive play for the Vikings, the big play of the game was definitely the block punt. That was the touchdown. Right. It set the tone early for the Vikings. It put them in a hole. Minnesota seemed to struggle to recover after that. Giving the Packers points is never a good thing, especially when you've got Aaron Rodgers at the helm. And they were able to take that and build it into a 2-score lead heading into halftime. And from there, it just started to look like a game that was running away. I don't think the Vikings recovered from that until after halftime.
All right.
Michael Kendricks is actually playing for the Seahawks already. Wow. Okay. That's weird.
Oh, I didn't even know he got signed. What?
Yeah. Apparently they don't care about you might be going to jail for years on end. We'll just let you play until they actually have to come arrest you.
Hey, you've seen the longest yard, right? Those prison guys can play football.
Right. Of course.
That's too funny. All right, so let's get into this game. If you guys missed it yesterday, what a weird, awesome, fun game. Paul Allen hates it. I'm just like, shut up, Paul Allen. It's like that was a fantastic game. He's like, oh, it's my least favorite of the border battles. You would rather pick a loss over a tie. I just can't put any logic behind that. But we'll go down the stats here. We compared quarterbacks earlier. Kirk Cousins, 35 of 48, 425 in yardage, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He did take 2 sacks. QBR was good. Rating was through the roof. Aaron Rodgers, 30 of 42, 281, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He got sacked and hit a lot, 4 for 28. And, yeah, he didn't really match up with Kirk Cousins on paper yesterday, which is odd because he's usually perfect all the time. But the quarterbacks, that was a talk all week because Aaron Rodgers didn't practice. Devontae Adams didn't practice up until, like, Saturday. So we were – honestly wondering if he was actually going to play, but he did end up playing, and he played fairly well.
I think we all kind of knew he was going to play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Because they're just such a different team without Aaron Rodgers. But, yeah, the quarterback play was pretty good yesterday.
I think it was your boy, Colin Cowherd, that called them the Cleveland Browns without Aaron Rodgers.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I don't think they're the Browns. I think they're probably the Bucks of last year, the Bears, something. They'll win a couple of games, but – good God, they're terrible when he's not there. I don't get it. Breaking down the rushing side, it was weird. Green Bay actually rushed for more yards than we did. Jamal Williams, Ty Montgomery, and Aaron Rodgers. Jamal Williams had 59, Ty Montgomery 31, and Aaron Rodgers 8. The Vikings' leading rusher was Dalvin Cook, 10 for 38. Latavius Murray, 4 for 19, and then 5 and 1 from C.J. Ham, Kirk Cousins, and Stephon Diggs. They only had 68 rushing yards yesterday.
But the Vikings got behind early, and they kind of had to. They kind of had to give up on that run game. They had to rely heavy on the pass. So, we got a home game coming up next, right?
Yep, against the Buffalo Bills.
So that'll be a good one to do some course correction and get the run game working again the way it should.
Now, do keep in mind, though, that of those 18 rushing attempts total the Vikings had this game, because they were down so much and they weren't able to really run the ball, that Latavius Murray averaged 4.8 yards per carry and Dalvin Cook averaged 3.8. So it's not like they were bad as far as averages either.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And also, the offensive line was struggling to block well at all. Dalvin Cook was making several defenders miss, but by the time he'd get back to where the line of scrimmage, there'd be more defenders there. So
I miss Nick Easton. I'm telling you guys, Nick Easton.
I miss Nick Easton and Joe Berger. Those guys underrated.
Underrated parts of this offensive line.
Yep, and we didn't see Pat Elflein play. We talked about the line earlier. Rashad Hill went out.
Do we think Pat's going to be back for next week?
I hope he doesn't come back until we play the Rams or something, just in case he's not fully ready, because I think we're going to thump the shit out of the Bills. Spoiler alert, Sunday. But we got two back-to-back games, Thursday night against the Rams, and then we go to the Eagles, I think, week 5. Carson Wentz, by the way, for you guys that are NFL lovers, not just Viking lovers, but you enjoy other NFL news, Carson Wentz is back. He will be playing Sunday against the Colts, so we will probably, unless he gets injured again, hopefully not, we will be playing against the Carson Wentz-led Eagles in Philadelphia in week 5, so there's an update on that as well.
Interesting. I do want to say something about this tie because it sets an interesting situation in the NFC North. Now, if the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers end up with a tie in the division, it's all going to come down to the head-to-head meeting week 12 in Minnesota. That game now has so much more on the line because it will be the deciding factor in a tiebreaker.
I'm glad it's in Minnesota.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes.
And that's the other thing, too, to take away. Everybody's mad because we didn't get a win. Well, look at it this way. And, yes, you could flip the names in the situation and say the same thing. But we went on the road yesterday and we didn't lose. And the Packers did not win in Lambeau. They showed Aaron Rodgers' record yesterday. Wasn't it like 51-9 in the last 60 games at home?
Yeah, something like that.
Holy crap. And he didn't come out victorious yesterday. Now, they didn't lose. We didn't win. But to go on the road in that hostile territory and not come away with a loss, hey, man, it's what you guys said. I'm super glad that it's going to come down to we're in Minnesota because I think we have a definite home field advantage every time we play at US Bank Stadium.
It was an odd game. I get it listening to Mike Zimmer and some of the other players. You don't really know how to feel after a tie. Even as a fan, I'm like, I don't know. I'm ready after this podcast to move on and like we focus on just going forward. Like they made changes. I think they made good changes. And
you're pulling a Belichick here. We're on to Buffalo.
We're on to Buffalo. Guys.
Russell Wilson sacked at the 2-yard line. That line in Chicago is nasty. Chicago's up 7-0.
Goliathus in the chat who says, I'd rather Pat Elflein come back next week and get in a little bit of time before heading to the Rams, before heading to the Eagles. And I mean, it would be nice to get him in there, get him a couple reps, get him ready to go. But I'm sure that they're working with him in practice, so he's not going to come back too rusty. And also, there's always that situation where you don't want a player to come back before they're 100%. I know he probably wants to play, and I know the Vikings probably want him to play. But until it is the right time and the right situation, it is not time.
So here's my question for you, Adam. What happens with the center that's starting for us right now? Does he move to a guard position? Does he go back to a backup? What?
The only place that really they could make a change is left guard. Mm-hmm. I think that right guard is going to end up staying as Mike Remmers. Mm-hmm. And I think that the right tackle spot is going to be whoever's healthy between Hill and O'Neal.
It's a good call.
I'm not sure who the left guard's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see.
So we were talking about the rushing attack yesterday. It was kind of non-existent because we fell behind. If you guys didn't watch the game, so there was a blocked punt early on in the game that actually went straight up in the air, wobbled a bunch, and then the Packers recovered for a touchdown. Kind of a momentum shifter early in the game, which sucked. So we had to start throwing the ball everywhere. So 425 yards. If I'm reading this right, 6 targets. So we'll talk about them. Adam Thielen, 12 of 13 for 131 and a touchdown. Incredible. Stephon Diggs, 9 of 13, 128, 2 touchdowns. long of 75, which was incredible to watch. Kyle Rudolph, 7 of 8 for 72. Dalvin Cook, 3 of 5 for 52 yards. Laquon Treadwell, 2 of 6 for 23 and a touchdown. David Morgan, 2 of 2 for 19. God,
David Morgan.
Just more passes than Laquon Treadwell. Jesus, man.
David Morgan's reliable, man. I tell you, those sneaky hands.
He is.
Yes, he is.
You got to cover all the other parts on the offense. You forget about David Morgan.
Correct.
Oh, he's just open in the middle of the field.
Here's a good one, too. The average plays, combining all these together, out of the 35 of how many times did Kirk Cousins throw? 48. The average was 12.1. So if you were going through the area, so you were averaging a first down after the game was all said and done. That's pretty good.
David Morgan had that really nice play where he came off his block and then was just open in the middle of the field.
Turned right around, and it was perfectly timed. Perfect time for him to turn around. It was great. That was a good point. I'm not going to go too much about the Packers. Green Bay receiving. Jimmy Graham made his presence felt pretty good. 6 of 8 for 95.
How many times did they mention during the announcing of that game that Jimmy Graham might be a tight end, but he's not out there to block?
This man, like, we get it. We get it, bro. He's a tight end on paper, but we know he's a wide receiver.
You know, we give a lot of shit to Joe Buck, but who was that? Was that Charles Davis? I hate Charles Davis as an announcer. I'm not.
The last 2 weeks, it's been rough.
Oh
yeah.
Take a timeout. They got to take a timeout when they've gotten
challenge.
They've got to
do a challenge. And they have no timeouts left.
But the good news is with that unit, you get Pam Oliver, and I like Pam Oliver.
Yeah, I like Pam Oliver
not bad. And we're being to have some bias here, you know, as long as football's been around about females and all that stuff in football. She does a damn good job. So
she really does.
I'm with you on that.
And she had a leather vest, which you got to have some balls to wear a leather vest just walking around the field.
Yep. Man, this just in. Khalil Mack is really good at football. Good God. This is going to suck when we have to play the Bears.
I know. I don't want to play Khalil Mack.
Oh, God.
Moving down the line, Minnesota did not fumble yesterday, which is crazy. Aaron Rodgers lost a fumble. Randall Cobb lost one too. I don't think that they recovered either. I can't figure out how that works down there for the turnovers. They have fumbles up top, but we didn't fumble the ball yesterday, which is really great. As far as defense, man, take your pick yesterday. It was crazy. Xavier Rhodes, Andrew Sendejo, and Harrison Smith, and Eric Kendricks all had 8 total tackles. Kendricks had a half sack. Mackenzie Alexander, 7 total, 7 solo, a sack, a tackle for loss, and a quarterback hit. He had a good game yesterday.
Harrison almost had a nice interception, but penalty on the play.
Yep.
Man.
Half a sack, half tackle for loss for Shelton Richardson and Everson Griffin. Everson Griffin, 2 quarterback hits. There's 9 total quarterback hits on this list right here and 4 sacks. So pretty cool. David Perry got a sack yesterday, guys. Got to throw his name out there. Heck yeah.
I was like, who was that guy? But I was happy that he was in
messaged me. And they said, since when did they have 95 on the roster? I said, we talked about it on the podcast. It was great. He stole a golf cart taxi and got arrested.
You know what? Not all heroes wear capes, man. I love that.
But I want to point out something from these defensive stats. Xavier Rhodes, Mackenzie Alexander, Trey Waynes. Cornerbacks, and they all had every single one of their tackles was a solo tackle.
Yep.
Which means that not only were they in coverage doing their best against Aaron Rodgers and some of the most shifty wide receivers in the NFL, but they were out there making clean, solid tackles on some players that are just crazy to bring down. Geronimo Allison is tough to bring down.
Ooh, Mitchell Trubisky with an interception to one of the Griffin brothers. Sorry, though.
Hey, quite all right. Huh? I'm just giving some more praise to the secondary because not only are they amazing when it comes to shadowing those receivers, but they're also amazing when it comes time to bring down somebody carrying a football.
I agree with Adam, and you can already start to see how, like, the improvement from week 1 to week 2, where you start to get more into regular season mode for the team. I think that as the season continues, the Vikings defense is going to be one of the top units in the league.
Now, from the opening of the game, we saw J-Ron Curse absolutely whiff on a tackle. I think it was the first offensive play for Green Bay.
Jesus Christ, man. I was like, J-Ron Curse is already pissing me off. There's one play.
And I didn't see him in the game after that. I didn't see him. Did he come back in?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
In coverage. I think it probably was on special teams, but I didn't see him come back in coverage the rest of the game.
Brutal.
Good God, man. Yeah, he's long, he's rangy, but where's George Iloka been the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to ask you guys that.
That's weird.
Where's George?
I have no idea, to be honest. None.
I want to see George Iloka.
You sold me on that 3 safety package, Mr. West.
Hey, I'm telling you, Mike Zimmer is waiting for the Eagles.
Hey, this week we're going to do an all 3 safety package the whole game.
Yeah, when we play Philly, Mike Zimmer is going to throw every exotic stunt possible at that team.
Yeah,
he's going to do it.
I can't wait for that game.
All right, so going back down, Minnesota had no interceptions. Clinton Diggs had the interception off the hands of Laquon Treadwell. Kick returns, Mike Hughes took 1 for 46, which was super promising. We also saw Holton Hill take 1 out for 28. Punt returns, Marcus Sherrills had 1 for 13. Daniel Carlson. Damn it.
I don't want to talk about it. We already talked about it. Who cares?
0 for 3, and then he had all of his extra points. I mean, I guess that's a positive. And then Matt Weil, 4 punts, 204 yards, 51 average. But, yeah, he had the 1 blocked and returned for a touchdown. So not a good day for the special teams unit.
We had talked about this in the chat, Adam. Mike Prefer has got to be on a hot seat.
He does.
Mike Prefer's got to be on the hot seat. Okay.
I'm serious. The special teams coach has to be on the hot seat. I mean, they missed on the kicker in the draft, which has to come back to special teams coaching, saying that they're comfortable with this kid and wanting to draft him. It's not just Rick Spielman in a vacuum who makes these picks. And then you look at some of the other issues they've had. You change out a punter right before the season starts. Like, I don't know. I think he's on a hot seat.
I think it's certainly in the conversation. It's not just that too. You got to not just the kicker being nervous and missing field goals. Obviously, that comes down to special teams. But when you're punter and these guys don't pick up, now I will say, I was going to say pick up the blocks, but I'm going to tell you this right now. This is why I love our coach. He was shitting all over the refs yesterday, talking about how Green Bay gets away with a lot of holding, and he was talking about that play in particular where the punt was blocked for a return touchdown. He's like, yeah, the guy blocking was holding on to so-and-so on our team, which you're not allowed to do, which is illegal.
Yeah, he lined up on right next to the center, which you're not allowed to do.
Wow.
I'm telling you, like, I don't perceive and haven't seen it in the last 4 years going into year 5 with Mike Zimmer of him being the guy to just complain about stuff and point blame to other people. He always takes the blame and always owns up to mistakes. But when he puts it, like a couple years ago, you remember when he was talking about how shitty the field was and everything was in Chicago, and he's like, you guys can't even get the damn clock right. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I love it, man. I love it when he says it how it is, because he tries to walk on eggshells around the media and tries not to get baited into stuff. But that was a good point yesterday, because I saw at least one for me where Green Bay was holding, and it was, on our defensive guys. It wasn't on a special teams play. It wasn't on a punt or anything, but that was frustrating. Just another point of emphasis. So you guys watch when we play Green Bay.
Now, I do want to talk, too, about the Vikings defense, which failed to defend a single pass against Aaron Rodgers. And that says a lot more for Aaron Rodgers than I think it does the Vikings defense, is that Aaron Rodgers is able to pick apart defenses like that. He doesn't force a lot of really tough throws. I just really thought that this was going to be a game where the Vikings defense was going to make things really tough for Aaron Rodgers. And although they pressured him a lot, look at all the hits that the Vikings got on him, all the pressures. They even sacked him several times. But Aaron Rodgers still hurt in the pocket, delivered these strikes accurately. And it's amazing the Vikings defense was able to hold Green Bay to so much with a player so talented that they're going up against. It was really amazing to watch.
Did you guys hear what Mike Zimmer said to Aaron Rodgers after the game?
No.
You didn't catch that? He jokingly told Aaron Rodgers, "I hate you, and I still think they'd be better off trading you."
I remember.
That's amazing.
I said, what'd you say to Aaron after you talked to him at the game? He said, "Yeah, I hate you," jokingly, and he was mentioning to the press like, "I still think they should trade him." And I think Aaron Rodgers said back, he's like, "Yeah, I love you too, man."
You know, there is a respect level. I think there's a respect level between Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings defense.
Absolutely.
They recognize how difficult of a challenge it is both ways.
Yeah, I mean, we respect him too. He's just
It's
hard because you know that he's hurt us so many times. The Packers are such a good team with him.
I'll be the bad guy pissing people off in the chat. We hated Brett Favre, but as soon as Brett Favre came to Minnesota, we all loved Brett Favre. If Aaron Rodgers somehow I want to play for the Vikings in 3 years, we'd all be on the bandwagon too. And we just lost.
You're fucking right, and I'd be the first one to buy a jersey too.
And we just lost a viewer for me in the middle of that statement. But I mean, it's true.
Hey, we said it before, man. I'd trade the house for that guy. I've never seen a talent like him before, but it is what it is. Like we said, the respect is there, and it goes both ways. Because I'm sure when he looks on the schedule, he's like, "Well, I know I'm going to get beat up this game. This is going to be fun." Because even they've had a pretty consistent O-line now, outside of not really having a running game and him making receivers better than they probably should be. They don't really have much on offense besides him, but he knows he's going to get beat up when he plays us. So I like that the respect is there.
For sure. And Green Bay, Minnesota is one of those games I always look forward to. I know it's going to be a hard-fought game.
Right.
I know it's going to go down to the wire, and I know that it's going to make me so frustrated and get my blood pressure up. I know all those things are going to happen.
Ooh, whoever number 12 is for the Bears had a weird tackle go down. His leg was all discombobulated, and then I don't know. I think they were trying to save us down. I thought there was going to be a turnover. Nope, the Mitchell Trubisky show. Interception Seahawks. Wow. Just kidding. You get all the game action here on the Purple People Podcast. What's up? We did ask a social media question. I'm going all over the place. I'm trying to keep it going here. Okay, this is the one coming up. All right, I've got you. I don't know if we had one for last week. We will ask you.
No, I posted that one earlier up on the Facebook page. I don't know if we got many comments.
Okay.
So it's up to you if you want to do it this week or if you want to wait the following week and see.
I made a horrible graphic asking you guys about game balls and donkeys, but it didn't. It didn't make the final cut.
I'm okay with it. We'll do it on the fly and take a vote. We'll see if we can do it. I'm okay with leaving it for a week because I want people to tell us what they think, and it's still kind of fresh on the mind. Sure. But the question coming up is, do you trust Laquon Treadwell, or does the signing of Aldrick Robinson signal the beginning of the end for his time in Minnesota, meeting Laquon Treadwell? We'll see. That's what we had consensus earlier. I mean, you don't just add a wide receiver after one has an awful game again and again and again for no reason. But we didn't
really talk about it. But who are they going to cut?
That's what I mentioned earlier. I was like, who are you going to get rid of on the team? And then I know we joked around with Marcus Sherrills, but
if I had to guess, we've got too many running backs. I think maybe Rock Thomas is the odd man out, and they can slide him on the practice squad.
Probably. That's a good one. They haven't been active either on the game days, so it's not like they're missing anything right now.
And we're kind of far enough along in the season that other teams' practice squads are set. You can maybe slide a guy a little bit.
Right.
That's a very Rick Spielman thing to do.
We shall see.
And I don't know.
Cool, man. I like a speedy wide receiver. I'm not mad about this acquisition. So
I would rather trade for Jarius Wright. But
hey, he had a touchdown in the Panther game yesterday. Man. Missing the hell out of that guy.
Man,
Jarius would have made that third down catch for Minnesota.
Man, God damn it.
Kyle, I won't steal this one from you because this is too good, but Kyle has a Mike Zimmer quote of the week.
Oh, we did that earlier in the show.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I didn't know if you want to go back over it again. I'm sorry I brought that out of its place where it should be at the end of the show, but
it's all good.
That one, that was pretty funny. There's graphics out about it too, but go watch the Zimmer press conference from today after practice and after letting the game settle.
Do you guys like the way I decided we needed to do this last week, and then the Fox telecast is also doing a funny Mike Zimmer quote segment now?
Are they really?
Weird, right?
Yeah. All that I'm saying is that we started it first here at the Purple People Podcast.
F you, Fox. You give us our freaking royalties.
Right?
No, it's not like you ain't got it. Run us our money, bitch.
Call Taco Bell and Mountain Dew. We've been asking for this for a while. You can be the liaison, all right? Make it happen.
Absolutely.
It's like how we were here first, and then ESPN 1500's got the Purple podcast.
No, that's trash. Yeah,
Does that cover the Ravens? I don't know.
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good point.
Fuck those guys.
But let's take a second and talk about next week's game. The Vikings hosting the Buffalo Bills. Rookie quarterback Josh Allen getting the start after they really didn't want him to start this season, but, you know, things happen.
Nathan Peterman happened.
Running back LaShawn McCoy can always be dangerous. Shifty guy, catch passes. Zay Jones, a name you don't hear too often, but can do damage through the air. This Buffalo Bills team isn't bad by any means. Do you guys think that's going to be much of a challenge here?
I'm like Scott Hall.
I think
like
Buffalo Bills are awful, so I'm going to disagree with you there. I think they're absolutely garbage. I think they're the worst team in the football league that everyone plays in, and I don't see this being much of a challenge. I wouldn't say to underestimate them. I will throw a little bit of contradiction out there, but I don't. You know, you're going to prepare as if you're playing the Pats, but they just suck. I don't even.
Well,
know
if this tells you anything, ESPN has a prediction, according to their Football Power Index, that the Vikings are 90.7% favorites to win this game.
See?
Which is pretty insane. And the point spread, according to Numberfire right now, the Vikings are 16.5 favorites.
Whew.
I'll take the over on that.
That is an amazing point spread.
I'll take the over on that. I think we win by 20 points. But, hey, this is why I have that prediction, right? So you're starting a rookie quarterback. This is his second NFL start ever. I don't know what the hell they're doing with LaShawn McCoy, but their cornerback, their former all-pro corner just retired in the middle. That doesn't tell you how shitty things are in Buffalo. Like, I can't name a wide receiver on that team. I can't tell you who their tight end is. I don't know any defensive players on that team besides the really good corner that they have, not the one that retired, the younger guy. I can't name 5 players on the Buffalo Bills team, and I don't know who their coach is. They're awful.
Is it Doug Marrone?
No,
Doug Marrone's in Jacksonville.
McDermott, right?
McDermott, yeah.
I didn't see. I don't know who that is.
But yeah, they've got some running backs you may have heard of. They've got LaShawn McCoy, Chris Ivory, Tywan Jones.
I didn't know that McCoy was playing. I thought he was suspended or injured or something.
Wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin, which I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with.
Yeah.
Tight end Charles Clay.
All right, I know some of these guys.
Oh, wow. I thought he was with Miami.
No.
I thought he was still with Miami. Wow. I haven't heard that name in a while. Well,
and defensively, there are some players there. They seem to draft a lot of underachieving players. Like Kyle Williams, Jerry Hughes. They're good players, but they aren't really as good as you think that they should be. They've got former Packers defensive back Micah Hyde, who is absolutely dangerous on special teams. So they do have some weapons, some good players. But the problem is that they need that signal caller quarterback to help move the football. Their defense is okay, but not great. I do think that this is a game that should be won by Minnesota, but any given Sunday, you got to treat it like it's a very, very tough game. Go in and just dominate. I want to see this be the game where the Vikings walk in, put a lot of points on the board, and keep their foot on the gas pedal.
Yep.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Double
Kirk
tap.
Kirk Cousins is going to throw for like 500,000 bajillion zillion yards and have like astronomical touchdowns.
See, I think this game we're going to see 189 or so from Kirk Cousins.
I think this is going to be the Dalvin Cook, Latavius Murray show.
This is going to be the running game right here. You're going to see the showcase on the ground. You're going to see Minnesota trying to establish their run, working hard to get their offensive line in that run blocking mode, trying to see what kind of combinations fit. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of this week. So if you're a fantasy player, you can never not start those Vikings wide receivers. You got to start them every week. Whether it's Thielen or Diggs, but
what happens
running backs are going to go.
Guys, what happens if the kicker misses a field goal?
Don't say that because I literally just got tagged in Sunday Night Football's post. The Minnesota Vikings pick up the second most accurate kicker in history. Kyle West, you shut your mouth.
The Vikings don't have a kicker on their roster. What are you talking about?
But wait a minute. But that's valid, though. Okay, Dan Bailey comes in. Okay, what if Dan Bailey has a horrible game? Then what? We're going to want off with Dan Bailey's head. Oh, we need to cut him.
No, because I don't think he's going to miss. I don't think even if he misses one, he's not going to miss all of his field goals.
You'll have to do what Cleveland did then. You have to work out Blair Walsh.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, former kicker, God, we never want to mention that game again. Blair Walsh is going to get a look from Cleveland. Good luck, Cleveland. Like, God bless you for trying, and you're making strides, but good God, don't sign that guy. Kai Forbath is out there and waiting. Just saying.
Do you think Kai was at home laughing with a bowl of popcorn?
Oh, absolutely. You know he was eating this up.
Oh,
you know he was.
Even if he wasn't watching this game, his phone was going off, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is awesome."
That's a good point.
Does this prove? This proves it was never a competition. There was never an actual.
No, we knew there was never a competition. As soon as they traded up to draft a kicker, we knew that the competition was just for show.
So why did they go
asked about today too? By the way, they were saying, "Do you regret those picks that you might have lost in the 6th round?"
Love that.
Mike Zimmer laughed. He's like, "We're going to get more 6th-round picks. You can put your money."
Yeah,
on that.
and he was like, "What? We got 3 undrafted guys on this squad right now. Like, I don't care about 6th-round draft picks."
Hey, we don't have Bill Belichick, but I think we have the second most savage coach in the NFL. Man, he's pretty funny.
You can tell it too over the years. His patience for Chris Thomason is just going down the toilet.
God, I couldn't imagine. That's why he always looks to the sideline and asks if they're done. Like, he always waits for that time for 2 more. He's like, "All right, cool, I'm out." Like, I want to go on a little bit of a rant here before we get over, because I can't stand idiocy sometimes, especially when you get paid a lot of money not to be dumb. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not a big fan of Skip Bayless. I never have been. I think he just says things for clicks because he's just doesn't have anything useful to say on a television program, so he's got to do the hot take thing. Skip Bayless is a moron, but I think a lot of people think the same thing. Colin Cowherd, I used to side with. I don't know, I don't know exactly what his thought process is, but today on his show, I was lifting at the gym, and I was like, cool, let's listen to what people think about the game yesterday, because it's a very nationally talked about game. And Colin Cowherd says Aaron Rodgers just dropped 29 on the best defense in football. And I sat back and I stopped exactly what I was doing. I was like, punt return for a touchdown. I think Mason Crosby had 5 field goals. And it says Aaron Rodgers only threw for 1 touchdown. He didn't rush for any. Where did these other 23 points, where did those come from? Because I didn't see that. And I made that point too. I'm being petty here on purpose. But if you're going to say something on a national program and you're going to just try to just suck Aaron Rodgers' balls like everybody else does too, and I get it. He's the best guy to play football that I've ever seen in a quarterback position. Cool. But at least get your information right, man. You could praise the team for that. That made me very, very angry today.
Well, Twitter was kind of the same way. There were so many people on there talking about, where is this Vikings defense? What are they doing? They were, the Packers are scoring at will. And like, the defense is holding them to field goals. The defense didn't give up that special teams touchdown. They held Aaron Rodgers to 1 touchdown. At that time, it was near the end of the 4th quarter. And I think it was 1 touchdown in the entire game.
And that brings me to Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless says, that stupid hit on Kirk Cousins, it wasn't a penalty. He's like, the game's over after that. And I threw my water bottle at work against the wall because I was like, Skip, does your old ass have cataracts? Did you not watch the rest of the game? He got in the end zone 1 time. How do you know the game was over with 1:30 left? We would have shut him out again just like they did the whole rest of the game. Mm-hmm. I can't take these guys on a national platform who just spew just crap right out of their mouth the whole time. It irritates me. Colin Cowherd and Skip Bayless, step your game up. You guys suck at what you do, and I'll say it loud and proud on here.
And so the game ended in a tie. Why did Fox interview Aaron Rodgers like Green Bay won the game?
Because Aaron Rodgers is the biggest star on the field.
But Kirk Cousins threw for what? How many yards did we say? 400
Kirk Cousins don't sell jerseys, man.
Oh, that's the other thing that Skip Bayless said. Skip Bayless said yesterday, he kept bringing up all his stats against the Cowboys because he has some man love for the Cowboys, which is stupid.
Yeah,
but
he's a diehard Cowboys fan. Yeah.
He kept saying, he's like, yeah, we saw who Kirk Cousins really was yesterday, coming down in the clutch, and then he threw that pick, but thank God he got saved by the penalty. I'm like, Somebody needs to check his brain. Does Skip Bayless have Alzheimer's or something for real? Because he doesn't know what he's talking about. It's really annoying because I want to pull the stat sheet out. But hey, our boy Shannon Sharp, he had the back for the Vikings on this one. It was nice to see somebody take up for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings because it's the other thing too, saying that Alex Smith's a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins. Shannon Sharp was about to lose his mind. He's like, "Boy, are you crazy?" He's like, "I would never take Alex Smith over Kirk Cousins." Pretty good.
Skill.
Yes.
Now, when Kirk Cousins was with Washington, he was a little bit different of a quarterback. He never had the talent around him. Could you imagine if he had someone like Adam Thielen to catch passes there? Washington was doing everything they could to try to find someone to help him out in that way. Now, Kirk Cousins comes to Minnesota, and he's got all these weapons. The only thing he doesn't have is a lot of protection from the offensive line, but we still saw Cousins work around the pocket, take some hits in the pocket when he had to, and make things work. It was really a thing of beauty. And these guys will tell you, and our regular listeners will tell you, I had a lot of questions about Kirk Cousins when it came to the red zone, when it came to third downs, and this game went a long way into proving me wrong about a lot of things I was saying and a lot of the stats I was reading. He looked like a completely different player with Minnesota.
And I really like the way the Vikings are not farting around. Like, they recognized, hey, maybe we have a few problems 2 weeks in to the regular season, and they made changes. They addressed these issues. I like that. I like the way they're not just sitting back and like, hey, we'll see what happens. And
I mentioned it earlier, man. If you get cut, getting drafted the same year and you get cut 2 games in, they're not messing around, and they're telling you right now, look, man, we're here to win a Super Bowl. If you're going to bring us down, you're out. And I'm totally with you.
I hate to keep going back to it, but I mean, it is the A topic. Does he end up on the practice squad, the kicker we just cut?
I was wondering that myself.
Because he was drafted? Like, do you put him on the practice squad? Or is it just like, have you just killed him in Minnesota? Is it
I think he's done.
I think he's done.
I think so too, but I don't know. That's something to watch for.
I don't know. Let's hold on while we're here. Let me Google it, man. Let's just look for Dan Bailey and see how old he is. Because if he's the second most accurate kicker, I get it. So he's only 30. All right.
Kickers can play until they're 40.
He'll be 31 in January, the end of January. So I would guess based on that, and barring that he doesn't just come back and be a completely different kicker. Yeah, that's it. He's pretty. I think he's going to be here for a while as long as he doesn't mess it up. That seems to be the common theme. We can't find a quarterback and we can't draft a kicker.
Well, we got a quarterback.
No, we had to get him in free agency though. We can't draft a kicker to save our life.
Dante Fran. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Denver.
That's it for me, man. I just wanted to rant about those guys.
I mean, really,
at their show,
the best kicker we've had, like for an extended amount of time, was probably Ryan Longwell. Most recently.
Well, aside from Gary Anderson was one hell of an accurate kicker.
Oh,
well, yeah, he was. He really was too.
Yeah. Overall,
but sadly, like we've been talking about, like Jim Marshall, you get remembered for the one bad thing you do. Instead of the so many fantastic things that you've done.
You're perfect the whole season. I don't give a damn. You're perfect the whole season. And
Dude.
Missed
okay, in all fairness for that year.
During the season.
In all fairness for that year, were we really going to beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always on the table, but I always ask myself that. I'm like, oh, man. That was always one that you want back. I'll say that. Always one that you want back.
Yeah, but enough diving down into the painful memory lane. I think that's about all we have for this week, unless you guys got anything else.
No, that's it for me. I want to give a shout out to my band, Metallica Tribute. If you're in the El Paso area, come see us this Friday. We have a show. We're going to be opening up for Garden Grove. A couple of my bandmates are in there too. That's a Sublime tribute for later on in the night. But we should go on around 10, 9:30, something like that. We play the Black Album in full. We play some stuff from the new record, stuff from Ride the Lightning, a handful from Master of Puppets, one from Death Magnetic, and we just added Sanitarium as one we're going to add to the list in the upcoming shows after this week. So come out to One Stop in El Paso if you want to see some Metallica, close to it anyways.
I just do want to thank all you guys that joined us in the chat. It's been so great to have all you guys in here. And also on Discord, when you guys hop in and BS with us during the game, it's a lot of fun. So I really appreciate you guys doing that as well. Plus, this is one of our most highly watched shows live. So if you're watching live, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy the content, like it, share it, subscribe to it, and all that kind of stuff. Also, since we're not in the Viking Age anymore, if you used to use that to listen to us, please look for us over now on iTunes, PodOMatic, Stitcher, and of course right here on YouTube. Although if you don't like looking at these faces, iTunes, PodOMatic, Stitcher might be the way to go.
Don't tell us that. I'm really sensitive.
Hey, I know this face ain't for everybody, but my mama loves it.
There you
That's
go.
all that matters, baby. That's all that matters.
But you guys, I guess I'll plug the Viking Age, of course. Please download the app. Check out some articles over there. I'm continuing to do the one thing that I hate the most is I hate ranking players based on their performances over the season. But I decided to give it a whirl because I wanted to challenge myself. So I've got my weekly player rankings. It's kind of a power rankings view of players over the season.
Adam, you're a fraud.
Wow.
It's hard. It's hard to do.
I'm kidding, man.
And I know that I'm going to get so many people disagreeing with it. This guy should be up there. That guy should be down there. But I'm having fun with it, and I hope that anybody who's reading it's having fun with it too. So yeah, that's what I've been doing to challenge myself a little bit when it comes to my work over on the Viking Age. Also, there's a bunch of new great content over there, so please check it out. Undead Walking, of course. We've got a couple episodes left in Fear the Walking Dead before The Walking Dead starts up, and I'll drop a little bit of a bombshell here. I've already watched the first 3 episodes from The Walking Dead Season 9, and it's not going to be something you're going to want to miss. So it's a little different in tone, but it's quite well done.
Oh my gosh, Roman Reigns. No, I'm just messing with you.
Just Superman punching zombies' heads off. That'd be amazing. I guess we did not talk about the WWE news, so we might as well do that before we hop off, huh?
Oh, God.
Former Minnesota Viking Brock Lesnar.
Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman going head-to-head in a steel cage match.
Why was the cage red?
Because Brock Lesnar had to kick it in. That's why. He's like, forget this red cage. We're not wasting a blue cage on this.
So dumb.
Yes, it really is. It really is. It really is. It really
Thank you, Dorian.
But one of the weirdest things ever, I've never seen a referee call a match because 2 guys got beat up in a steel cage match. I've never seen that happen. These guys can't continue. Are we doing that now? Is that a thing? Because I didn't know that was a thing.
There's a reason why I'm not watching shit like that you just described. What?
Exactly. No, exactly.
Adam, your boys got to do some work, man. There's 1:07 left in this first half, and Seattle hasn't scored a point yet. Chicago's up 10-0.
I know, right? I don't know what's going on.
I didn't start Russell Wilson this week. I'm pretty happy at the moment, but
I told my buddy to start the Bears defense in his fantasy league this week. He's like, but I got a better matchup. I was like, no,
you don't.
No, you don't.
Mack is back to form again. He already had he stripped it. I think Seattle recovered it, but he's already got a strip of the quarterback so far. So, man, he's a monster. But yeah,
if you're in the Minnesota area, lots of autograph signings coming up through Fan HQ. There's Trey Waynes, there's Anderson Dejo, there's Harrison Smith, there's Mike Hughes, Warren Moon, Kirk Cousins. If I didn't already say him, I don't even know if I did. Randall McDaniel, just a ton of autograph signings coming up in the next month or so. So if you're in the Minnesota area and you want to meet one of those guys, get an autograph, get a picture taken with them, it's a really cool opportunity, and I recommend you do it because I personally love meeting as many Vikings players as I can. It's just a great opportunity if you're in the area, so do so if you can. So Kyle West makes art.
I do, and sometimes I sell stupid shit. I sold a Vikings print during a Minnesota Vikings game, which was a first. I thought that was pretty cool. You can find my stuff at phantasmdigital.com. all kinds of stuff, Viking stuff, other stuff up there as well too. Otherwise, if you want to hear me talk movies, I've got the Shut Up, I Like This podcast. Jeff and I just figured out our 5 movies for the month of October. We are doing all horror movies coming up here soon, and we got some good stuff coming up in the pipeline that we think you guys are going to be interested in.
Is it Ghost Shark?
No Ghost Shark, Adam.
What?
I can't.
All I ask is for Ghost Shark.
I will keep on him, and we will get the Ghost Shark podcast done.
Oh, that movie, I tell you. Mm-hmm. But once again, thank you for everyone for joining us here. We've had a lot of fun talking football and not talking boxing, Sergio. Nope. No talking. We're not going to discuss Triple G.
Triple H? I don't know no Triple G.
I'll just say the elephant in the room. The UFC makes the boxing irrelevant now. Sorry, Sergio. I'm just kidding, man. Not really. I'm dead serious. But hey, give us your thoughts, man. If you have something else, that's why we have the chat. So,
hey, it only took Conor McGregor to make boxing interesting for a brief moment.
I probably won't watch again until someone bites someone's ear off again.
Oof. It does good shit.
Good reference.
But thanks again. Please interact with us on Facebook, Twitter. Share our stuff. And
I like how pleading you sounded. Like, please talk to us.
Yeah, well, I like talking to people.
For the love of God, somebody say something right now.
Talk to me.
Stay classy, Minnesota.